At some point, most people reach a moment where life just feels flat. Nothing is technically wrong. You have a job, you have people around you, life is functioning. But somewhere inside, there is a slow hum of dissatisfaction that you cannot quite explain. Like you're watching your own life through a glass, present but not quite in it. That feeling is more common than you think. And it does not mean your life is broken. It usually means your life has been lived on autopilot for way too long. Doing what is expected, consuming what is convenient without limits, reacting to whatever arrives rather than choosing, consciously choosing. Today, I want to give you five specific practical ways to fall back in love with your life. Not some grand reinvention that you have to do, just five honest mental shifts that actually work. Let's get into it. Number one, make your world smaller. We have been sold a story that a bigger life means better life. More friends, more plans, more options, more stimulation. But look at the people around you who seem genuinely at peace, not the ones who are constantly busy and posting about their lives, the ones who are actually content. They almost always have a small circle, a simple routine, a quiet life that they have chosen, not settled for. Think about the last time you felt truly calm, composed. Really try to recall it. Chances are you were not at large social event or in the middle of a packed schedule. You were probably doing something quiet and specific. A slow morning, a long walk, a meal with that one person that you actually trust and love. Small is not a failure of ambition. Small is a deliberate act of choosing quality over quantity in your friendships, your commitments, your daily life. That is what small means. When you stop trying to be everywhere and do everything, the things you actually care about suddenly have room to breathe. The ability to simplify means to eliminate unnecessary so that the necessary may speak. Pull back deliberately. One social obligation you can quietly let go. One commitment you are keeping out of habit rather than genuine interest. Make your world smaller and watch how much bigger it feels. Number two, fix your sleep before you fix anything else. Here is something nobody wants to hear. You cannot enjoy your life when you are chronically underslept. Not fully enjoying it, you function, you just don't enjoy it. You can get through the day, but the richness of experience, the ability to feel present, to find things interesting, to have genuine energy for the people you care about, that requires proper sleep. Not coffee, sleep. Matthew Walker, a neuroscientist and sleep researcher, spent decades studying this. His findings are stark. Sleep deprivation doesn't just make you tired, it impairs emotional regulation, reduces creativity, weakens the immune system, and literally shrinks the part of the brain responsible for rational decision making. Sleep is the single most effective thing we can do to reset our brain and body health each and every day. Make use of it. Your mood, your patience, your motivation, your ability to enjoy even small things, all of it sits on top of your sleep. Fix the foundation before you try to build anything on it. A fixed bedtime, a fixed wake time, and no phone for the hour before and after sleep. Three rules. Start there. It sounds boring. It also is one of the most transformative things you can do to you because it changes everything else downstream. Number three, stop consuming, start building. There is a very real difference between watching someone build a life and building one. And most of us are spending far more time doing the first than the second. We watch, we scroll, we consume content about people living interesting lives, making things, creating, growing, and it feels vaguely good, like proximity to effort without the effort itself. But here is what it does to you over time, it trains your brain to associate satisfaction with consumption rather than creation. And consumption never actually satisfies, it just generates the appetite for more consumption. You watch one more video and many more videos, open one more app, and you keep opening that app again and again and again, and it feels slightly emptier than before. Creation is the antidote. Write something, build something, film something, design something, cook something from scratch. It does not have to be good. In fact, it should not be good yet. Waiting for the moment you are good enough to start is just procrastination, wearing a reasonable mask to avoid it. Creativity is not a talent, it is a way of operating. Start small, learn fast, get better. That is the entire process. The people who you are creating things that matter to you right now, they were all terrible when they started. The only difference between them and you is that they started. Number four, pick one skill and go all in. Most people never get good at anything, not because they lack talent, because they quit before talent becomes irrelevant. The pattern is recognizable. You start something new, a language, an instrument, a creative skill, a sport. The few weeks are exciting because everything is new. Then the novelty wears off and the real work begins. Progress slows, it gets harder, and you quietly stop, telling yourself you will come back to it or that it was not the right thing anyway. Then the cycle starts again with something else, which is something new, maybe a trend, and that's a vicious circle that you fall into. And you never get past the point where things actually become rewarding, which is the point of genuine competence. Pick one skill, give it 6 to 12 months of consistent effort, not motivation. Effort. Show up when it is boring, show up when progress is invisible, and watch what happens to you internally, emotionally, mentally. You go from bad to decent, from decent to actually being good. And that progression, watching yourself get genuinely good at something through your own sustained efforts, does something to your self belief that almost nothing else can replicate. The key to mastery is to love the practice more than the result. Choose the skill, commit to the timeline, resist the pull to start over when it gets hard. The reward is not just the skill itself, it is the evidence that you can see something through. That matters more than most people realize. And number five, learn to sit alone without filling the silence. This is the one most people skip, or more accurately, the one most people are running from. We have filled every available moment with noise: podcasts during commute, music in the shower, scrolling in the waiting room, a screen before sleep, and immediately after waking up. We have become so proficient at filling silence that many people genuinely cannot remember the last time they sat with just nothing, just by themselves. And the reason is not laziness or bad habit, it is that silence is confrontational. It forces you to face whatever is actually there: your dissatisfaction, your unresolved questions, your actual feelings about your own life. That is uncomfortable. Noise is more comfortable. It's a escape route that everyone is taking. But here is what silence also does: it is where you find out who you actually are, not who you are with when you are performing for an audience or responding to other people's expectations, but who you are when no external input is shaping you. Silence is your environment to grow. Your actual preferences, your actual values, what you actually want underneath all the noise, all the chaos surrounding you. In the attitude of silence, the soul finds the path in a cleaner, clearer light, and what is elusive and deceptive resolves itself into crystal clearness. Go for a walk without your phone, sit in a park, and stare at nothing. Have a morning where the first voice you hear is your own. Start with 10 minutes, it will feel strange. Sit with the strangeness. That is the whole point. Identify your own self, figure out who you are, what you want, and grow from there. Most people are addicted to noise because silence forces them to face themselves. but that facing, that honest confrontation with what actually is inside you is exactly where life you love gets built from. It starts from there. Try it once. 5 ways, none of them are dramatic, none of them require a complete life overhaul or a perfect set of circumstances. Make your world smaller, fix your sleep, stop consuming and start making something. Let your creativity get that outlet. Give one skill 12 months of real effort and sit with yourself, is the last one that I shared with you, and sit with yourself in silence long enough to find out who that self actually is. Falling in love with your life again is not about adding more, it is about removing what is between you and life that is already there, waiting for nurturing and thriving. The noise, the comparison, the endless consuming, the running from yourself, strip that back. And what is underneath is actually better than you remembered. The question I want to leave you with is simple. Which of these 5 is the one you have been avoiding? Not the one that sounds interesting. Which one are you avoiding? The one that made you slightly uncomfortable when you heard it. Start there. That one is always the right one. Leave your answer in the comments. Subscribe if this gave you something meaningful. See you next week. Thank you.